and some still are no yenye because corruption related issues, and we won't treat it business as usual. Say obi aba be kambrofo na no nti eno ano no esi di ho nkomo into totality. And Bank of Ghana Governor BOG ekoko PMO Public Accounts Committee. Honorable Abna Osei Asari ebusa ne question. Now there is a difference between oye propaganda on radio and TV for the people to consume, and when you appear before a public committee. Now as what the other facts and figures ekoko kire omo a ye de san komo no ebebrem. Now when it comes to corruption, oforiato ye bedin komo ne se Attorney General no kra no why serious say or be have a conversation, and I said or try the people in the court of public opinion. Instead, so be court no akwa prove beyond reasonable doubt no. Ora dom levo de nsem aba betu dwafa ora ne ho nkro no ba. Dom levo say ora no wan shede nhunu so. Don't forget say dom levo about corruption omo fight corruption in this country of ours no. Dom levo corruption anti-crusader. Pa. Na no ka ora ne ho. Ene wachire mu a ora no emu nsuo no, it is not oraling. You betie the dom levo kan ene ahwe the response Attorney General edemano. Now COVID-19 Yera John Dramani Mahama ka kire say naban no etwa. They've repealed COVID-19. Akacha say aban we ni propaganda ye de echen the actual work na ye say oye no. So clearly but when you subject it to a critical proof, COVID-19 or repeal ampa. Now repeal other na companies we either so a charge COVID-19 levy. And you bet as of on the 8th of a year January, which is this year, but before me boy January, me was a make a fast about a year me date here. So let me quickly change the date. By this time, Medru one more matter. And it is on the 12th of home. It's the date, no nafi, month one home to home. Yes, sir. One more no by a year fast. Say, and the date to Kranye. And then so Monday and now Wednesday. Okay, Monday. Let's go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So today is Monday. So, ladies and gentlemen, the date has been changed and it is working properly. So, on the 12th of a year, January 2026, and then year show no questions are here, and we are going to ask critical questions. Say a name no kase COVID-19 11 yes ye twam, but auto adia shall recede. So is it still appearing there? If it is still appearing there, GRE and the edge, mind you, per the GRE records every day beyond COVID-19 levy yen triakwano. Over 9 million Ghana cedi and almost collected. So from January 1st to now, so COVID-19 year that so edge year. Abayisi were tremble in the media, but behind the scenes, or COVID-19 levy and the ever has answer near the Hong Kong. When you COVID-19 levy every mois, can oforiata enti man for ya kwakase MPP are more corrupt than the NDC. But when you subject that notion, that image to proof, to strict proof, say between NPP and NDC, one would be the most corrupt party, not just in the media, but the record shows. And he had cut down memory lane. I can't say Gen Z for no. Bebre nanim di akoso from President Kufuor taking over. Victor Solomon, Chachuchi Katamo, Kwame Pepramo ni adi omunyina. And then you don't cut down memory lane till today. And the record shows that till today, there is no single MPP appointee yet jailing for the act of corruption. No single MPP appointee. From 1992, ABC a year 2026, which is I think 34 years into a year democracy. So 34 years into democracy, and you be prove say between MPP and NDC, the most corrupt party a year NPP, but a year NDC. That not said no. With that said, Yankensi should be as a MPP nye breeding grounds for criminals. Eti party no obi an support obi a wawi amanfo ne sika. Se manfo no ema opportunity se bra besom omo. Manfo no ye the honor se bra besom omo. Na oba na se oba be wia omo a, don't think that obetimi get cover within the party MPP nya no ti ne yete. Eti ene no se obi aye boni omo a, ye beche no regardless, we don't care. And as obi awia manfo ne sika hiding behind the political party NPP, NDC should go ahead and jail them. Because any day, anytime, if Afrifa ya metie, se minya opportunity so manfo no a, I should be courageous enough to say service to humanity does not end at the time where we were juma. It must end with accountability. If it's a service, why your manfo ni ye osumomu ye? Eso timi ba bebu akonta kire manfo ne se ye de afija se kire east share wonsa agona ka ho wiamoase ka ho bed mase kokotia sua kena moso kuna dawu tabere jamase ye de ni nyina ama wo na se ye de ma wo wi a eso timi wi na bebu akonta kire manfo ne se weni ye de ma me ebia MPs common fund mi nya sei me di sei na hwe manfo no manfo ni nya sei wantimi amusa akonta no a na aban sa show mu a you cannot hide behind MPP. Eti ene yebedi sa enkomo no into detail. Bank of Ghana edin sembia betudwa ene reporter yensaka elikiaba yensaka has to do with some reforms about of Ghana edeba efa microfinance institution ho omo friend recapitalization of microfinance now ehunu bi penti aboasere wa jije ne ba no wayi nani ato nchen. Clearly Bank of Ghana say oba be recapitalization you be busa the necessary questions. Say policy now wo de ba no, what is the intention behind the policy? Is it that ye je microfinance na kwhye enkrofo bi nsa? Because supposedly ye dwen say omo sia no omo ye NDC for abi omo ye MPP for ye be busa sa questions in nya na say omo ye recapitalization. How are they going to safeguard indigenous companies? Are you going to be nano? Say nano. You see a recapitalization of bank. Yeah, they clean up. You all the relevant questions. But before say metwa so mami emamo public announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Madaruma public announcement edi kind say last year fake dollar no a year. National security kwache no still yenhunu baby a fake dollar no afa report MI wo monchire ye say sika no omukofa national security jakwa mukofa ye no ewen if they think it is business as usual say ye beba ni aba o ma be tutu ne magu say sika no ewen still no over 12 containers of dollars in gold no a omukochi wo poku ase no. National security Madaroma ewo gold bars ewo he obi na afa akosi ana obi afa gold bars na di no accountability jakwa gold bars na ewo he wontimi ma me kan kire manfo no say there is gold bars na o ma me account to them baby a gold bars na fa we can only assume say ne mawia say modern gold bars in dollars emu amebu akonta emu cedis we can only assume say mawia na yempese ye be assume say mawia eti Madaroma national security momra me account to the people gold bars na muko hunu ye dollars na muko hunu opoku ase no momra me account to the people. Please come and account to the people. Yes remu a mutimi mfa gold bars nkogumu dem mutimi mfa dollars 12 containers of dollars nkogumu dem na yen kovaso business as usual ye bebusa mo 1 year down the lane a ye need to me ma mo sa gold bars in dollars the relevant question we are asking is sa dollars in gold bars no me pa mo cho national security so mo antimi an kire mu a we assume that jakwane ne nkrofo awia. That is the only assumptions that can come to our head. It is a jakwa one nkrofo awia sika we dia You must account to the people where the monies are, where the gold bars are. We won't treat this business as usual. It's not the first public announcement. Now, second public announcement. DVL wants and some who say baba before DVL no. TikTok minister Wadaroma Mienka was say and they mene wo kasa no. So for line. Why you say pika. Now I'm say 2 days ago the whole place went I mean a doom fui. Our brother TikTok minister Asha Wellington Boot say so combat here. Kumasi nyina dum no na TikTok minister Asha Wellington Boot and the combat no other than TikTok a year samba. Now I have made a resolution say he is our guy. I probably won't touch him. But with that said, I think he should get serious with the job a little bit. Agrono adoso. As a governance in India, TikTok ne social media, there are serious issues. Kumasi ayesum, Kumasi na bede chire winti. Dr. Frank Amwakoyne, waje fans wa TikTok ni bi washa Wellington Boot ni kambu. Aje fans wa TikTok ni bi get to the work and work. Stop the propaganda with time, it will catch up with you. If you don't stop the propaganda with time, it will catch up with you. Minuano, uye yami okay. And this in our mon shede mukwa sante form emrante mabawa. It is the fact that Mama Aquine, I am not in any shape or form willing to drag you down. So that is not my. But the way I would diagram door so juma. And what a man for na genasi, man for the pediatrics. Minister Washa Kambu, you combat, mortar combat, no nam. It you know the difference. It's okay, but the pertinent issues of developing the region, I think we must get serious with some of these issues. You move your way. Now, DVLA boss, Mimiano, Logas, any or more enya, a year fracas, be yanko, nyanko cheese, and some way, my address. Thank you. Okay, I catch them say, oh, Mr. P, you free so? Aha, Mr. P, you free so. Into yanko, Mr. Yanko.
Training, say a shy, won't say normal plate, won't some bebre and aba. It's no Nancy, I say, you must say Ghana, the Edinburgh year, Juma. It's you who says, said the bed Ghana. I'm running for now on my pine, I say. Juma, number plate in a yebo. It may be anywhere you can number plate more. Ya Ghana plate since 1995, I did numbers when we started say even before 95, but since 95, I have to date, it's about 30 something years. I mean, yeah, Juma Nache, 31 years in it. It's a Nabas years, some later. As my can say, Abani Maya, young Kosuanya Juma. Go to your domain, when we are just a few people, because here to me, Fanny Makota, young Koha. It's about 46 companies, almost 50 companies. I registered. You share taxes me a baby, and yes, Ghana by or try money on more common. Okay. Into a panicho, fire Juma Mayan. Na Yankoya Juma, as a Moses. Na we are in Abeda Ghana, a son say Ghana Unia Jumaya, or Mobo. Yapanicho, when you share your ma, you wish you na, did I can say, yes, Reno. On my client near Concoya Juma, Nayamoya Ghana number plates. Okay. For now, almost all my day bano, and young mammy Julia. Okay. That day, on my boy back with me, so ya, na ye. Na then and then you'll be a fetch. El Quacobo, and I said, there are many pabaco for Persebi. Ghana, any pabaco for dia, ni pabaco for Nidi. A yaka cracker crass, any pabacuya, ye kaya so. No, Okaya Hubi. 80 dainty no no qua fetch recordi. I just said, you may be in Koye. Yen fan Contiba, and Cassa. Ye did no more ye de beba, a jam am running for. Yes, Romo, say and Sada and Siam, air patrol, or my uncle Juma. Okay,
that means or the political party
yes, so the room. Now yes, you non-political because you have no politics with you.
Okay.
Until yesterday, I buy my own conco ye juma. Na obia anybody said yet na.
Okay, but your association FM, sir.
VEMAC, Vehicle Enforcement Association of Ghana.
Okay.
VEMAC.
All right. Okay. That's super.
Yo, we have VEMAC for omo omo free court and ibusa omo. Na omo say obi eje. Nipa ba akofo so we NDC ni. It was the contract in nyina na dem. Lucas, you're my brother, so probably I wish I could speak to you on these matters behind the scenes. But since it borders on national concern, then yendi sound common in public. Lucas, first of all, minim the memwaje company no contract na free a lot of people some ediama a one person. And when so it won't augur well for your government, and you know some of these mistakes for the interest of the larger group of Ghana. I'm not interested in playing politics with it. It won't augur well. But even aside that, it won't augur well. Menyanti Esa was from 2023, 2024, 2025. Obi a register ne ka bia no onsan famra eye DVL. Na medwene ho amenti ase no meye re-registration because money eye digital information on their cars. So first of all, if money digital information on their cars, technology and amopesa mo de cure mischief. So Lucas, so person will cure mischief with technology. You don't cause a lot of problems for the people. Because the only reason tell person we hear digital appearance is say man for ne hon tomo. Now also catch any poor ma register several millions of Ghanaian people or ma register moka 2023, 2024, 2025. Say omonsampu emra DVL emeye day. So if it is about keeping of records and data, how can you use technology to make the life of the people simpler? I'm giving you a suggestion and I think you must look into it. Adebako Logas unu timbetimiaye say, Samuwo the fiscal copy of DVL records on these cars. Let somebody build a software. Sa software no. Enubia na mube jinaso. Upload the more records na muwono. Na mudiagu sa software ne so. Now let the people sit in the comfort of their homes. Na omonso enko sa platform kroya so. Upload the omoka registration document. Se form seal se there you where it gives you all the necessary document no. Omuncha omoka number plate. As including omo picture verification, they can verify their face on the app. Omo upload it. Say even sika 17 also omo samra DVL. There is no point so DVL. As part of the registration, maybe you can link it to mobile money BBA. So omo do what? It can go straight to mobile money for them to pay using their own mobile money. So they be and cause inconvenience masa ankrofo say obi answering free fee and samra DVL. And may cause huge traffic, huge inconvenience to the people. When you want to cure a mischief in the society, you don't cause inconvenience with the mischief you seek to cure. Mestre, Lucas, let your technology people technical people look into this. You should build a software. So software, no more records are more already on cars. Let them upload it on those platforms. So they may synchronize information. It is a meme car and a winning records, digital records on it. The Obeya say more money can upload more information, more one fiscal one. Said the Obeya me me a call more platform so. Na metra form C no upload. Metra my name a verify. Me dem ID card aka ho. This is doable. This is not rocket science. This is doable and you must be able to do this. So Lucas, please, don't cause inconvenience for the people. I know you have good intention. You want to change. Many what dinkomobi behind the scenes. Even our car registration. So your car registration, you know, a year. Your day, a year 10. Your day 5, 25, 26, etc. I personally have a problem with it. Because the psychological impact of Ghanaian people when it comes to buying car. Obi betimi ato car no de asi ho ontwi wa register me the 25 for church ni ontwi the moment I register you hu 25 no o ka da yempe obi nso betimi the DV abo ho atwi ni saa more than 5 years. And the reason people refuse to register their car and use DV for so many years is because of Sadiano. Because the moment I register, it devalues the car. It is not person curious mischief by taking away 25, 26 in the Adena. I am on the same page with you. I think we should do that. But in the course of doing that, you don't need to create an inconvenience for people. You're really behind, you're really beyond the way you say, Obi answer and the camera, Yansa be anim. Douglas, Yansa be anim. You must be able to cure the mischief without causing inconvenience for the people. That is what I will say for today. Now, you call your first topic. So, your first topic has to do with a year Bank of Ghana. You retrieve information be where a information you retrieve from Bank of Ghana. Leaked report. Say Bank of Ghana about a year so-called recapitalization of microfinance institutions. Ye nim de esi wo oman mu pen. A very troubling turn of a year event. It raises serious questions of transparency and accountability. As you share the true intentions behind a year Bank of Ghana recapitalization. Mobekaya oman bi pen. Eno ne ma a year banking sector no emu ye mmere. Kufuado beto ya and what try say all chaos and mischief no esako say enough problem. So despite the loud announcement, a Bank of Ghana tries to obey no. But before that, COVID-19 levy. Yet to Chroma say my year John Dramani Mama be catcher so we repeal COVID-19 levy. But my catcher says I buying we no catcher of such a sura. Form. And with time, the people will get to understand, say, Abino, Killnet, Abain Bia, and Chano. It's yet to Croman Yera John Dramani Mahama, Becca Cheresu. COVID-19, a Kufuado, the end of the buy and a scam, we are Mamfono. So we are Mamfono, the hour no a repeal. Or repeal from a year last year, November, basin there. Yebusaya John Dramani Mahama said, is GRA aware? Say Nkrofo da so charge COVID-19 levy ana. Yen hwe sa video yi.
This is a COVID Health Recovery Levy Repeal Act 2025. And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025.
10th of December 2025. Anna President Mahama a repeal COVID-19 levy. It repeal it must take effect. Some no work say. Yera John Dramani Mahama so repeal COVID-19 levy. But just so, as of today, despite the announcement, the presidential declaration, say COVID-19 health recovery levy no, were repealing no. Ghana for gusu tria, and now omuntria. Some no say, a minor glitch. This is not transitional hiccup. Where a daylight robbery because GRA say every day be an omunya over 9 million Ghana cedi every COVID-19 levy home. It is you see a repealing as of 10th December, 11 December, 12 December, 13th, 14th, 30th, 31st, Yogusuje up to 1st January, 2nd, 3rd, ABC a nay on the 12th. Yankoni a nay on the 12th. Sir, okay. Yanjwa diwi. Where a VIP for receipt, which is a year 2nd January 2026. Where I see here COVID-19 levy no a year John Dramani Mahama. Say web repeal no. Ti yamo yense mano. Wamu go so air charge. And GRA is aware. ye repeali adeɛ as of 10th December. Still a yegu so edge. Who is benefiting from this discrepancy? Why pocket na sesika we echo? Why is the public being kept in the dark on this? And this one is not me saying, the numbers don't lie. They say GRA say every day on daily, every single day, biano, or more generating not less than a year 9 million. So if 9 million Ghana cedi from 10 for no a year no, basic ne, or more that so charge COVID-19 level no. Yanhwe sa a year receipt way from Better Shopping. Better Shopping on the 6th of January, which is about 6 days ago. Still our COVID-19 level now, a year John Dramani Mahama so we're repealing no. Better Shopping eda so edge COVID-19 level. So see a year calculation within a space of a year 12 days into the new year, GRA receiving not less than a year 80 million Ghana cedi. That is by calculation. Because the levy was no longer in law, because the government had already declared it abolished, because the people were told, said the burden has been lifted. This is pure thievery. Where is the money going to? Where is the money going to? Eko obibotomu ana. Sensu GRA ama instructions say COVID-19 level yentwam. Ana still no companies be charged, which is VIP, which is Better Shopping, among other companies. I intentionally did not hide their name because these companies must be called to order then and must be brought to the book and yet treating business as usual. The levy is no longer enforced. Why is it being collected? But a kionet by omukasa shesura shefom omukasa shefomwa shesuro enyamena meka yes anti rajon do mani mama bio interview COVID-19 away you know interview.
And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025. Signed. Purported to provide free water, free electricity, free food, and a lot of things. And to the shock of most Ghanaians after the pandemic was over and after the elections were over, government slapped Ghanaians with a 1% value-added tax, ostensibly to recover what it's supposed to have spent on the COVID pandemic. Ghana continued to remain one of the only countries where we're being taxed for a pandemic that had passed. And so during the election, we promised that when the NDC comes to power, the COVID levy is one of those who repeal. A lot of Ghanaians have disliked this tax, and today I'm pleased that on the 10th of December 2025, I've signed the repeal act to remove the 1% COVID levy.
Abayne se were repealing, but behind the scenes were COVID-19 levy no. Eti mo bia nyini. Maka kyerem say abayne wo kasa hwesoro hwefom. But still what the goodwill of the people when them who wash kambu red gold green be a trending ni ade a wo mo the picture no yi ni ade na wate mo adwene ase. When him said the relevant issues no nya mo interest kra. We you concert no a mo kai first one na oba ye no so eno so no okotenatena moto so no otwi ni eboje no so. But what I know is that with time sa honeymoon na omudi no a better Ghana for any so the Ghanaian people will come to see through the veil of theatrics and will be pierced and we will see it clearly. And the COVID-19 level no omu chatro and yado correct. Now you move away from COVID-19 levy. Makacham says a medium fee and Bank of Ghana. A buying ye a tura buying. They spend so much on propaganda rather than the reality on the ground. Still, but it doesn't shock me. I don't care. The entire shock him, they say, me ankasa maban, MPP aban ebaye. Ekufado nyoma bebrawo, oh, while appointing 110 ministers, I had a problem with it. I kept on complaining. Now, omo edi matem. I didn't really bother because let me hunu nyoma nkufo ebre na hu. And exactly what I see with this government. And they almost say makase achire yimakabia etie oforiata eti afa na madwena bafi. There be mo na madwene nye papa. You have been conscientized to believe what you want to believe. At what point do you want to believe it? Ejene se me kabiti oforiata wo se there be afa na madwena bafi. Wo na afa na wadwena bafi. If se me kaseti oforiata aban. Munya bi bo every XYZ. Me kaseti aba wo mia munya bi bo free XYZ. Me kaseti akufo munya bi bo free XYZ. Still, most of Okatakyie adwene befie ne because afa no wo ka bia ti oforiata. Wo no wadwene nya adwuma, so you have selective hearing. Enyame. So wadwene ye adwuma dia. Ene nka wo selective hearing. Ka beka se Okatakyie Afrifa na aban wa aban mu 8 years. Wo no omokon. Jomama aban ya ba oye very critical of them. It has nothing to do with NDC or MPP. I am being me. We are going to take you through the journey of this political history. Say between MPP, but before that, Makacham said BOG, Gold Board, Omon Kanokure. Mobekaya, almost share Jumabi, Emma Miaminia, a year obi of Asempa FM, extra RTI, Right to Information Bill. BOG, Mama Menja said, Obwa, a year Jumashe. Na BOD by so MPP for Boka, Gold for Reserve. Now, Gold for Reserve, no reporter BOG no ankasa in Shasha year 2024 no. So I report to the NEA. Nowhere within the report, Anna Omo admit say a kabobi will Gold for Reserve. But Gold Board as me buy Omati aka me believe say MPP for Boka will Gold for Reserve. And NDC for nso aba no mo to aka no so me catch them say bibia say ni ho. And then Yamencha dear say, when you're the house of propaganda, this is the house of records. It is a OKBBA, SO to me supported. And the Bank of Ghana governor, Ore Siama, Ekoko PMO, a public accounts committee. Now, public accounts committee no Koko PMO, he is supposed to provide records. A cabo ben ya bo. Only Gold Board, I'm sure MPP Bobby did that, one Bobby. Yanko tie. Honorable Osasari, Abno Osasari, any Bank of Ghana interaction. Me we ka Bank of Ghana there. When I am governor, wouldn't him say record to Hosi Aboka, where it should be at your fingertips. It should be at your fingertips. And so Yebusa Bank of Ghana governor, Munti Komone said Yakoi.
I want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Can I find it in your financial statements for 2024?
Madam Chair.
Madam, respectfully, you can't do that.
We Honorable Abino Osasari, Busane said 2024. Samose losses no yenyan Gold for Reserve no. In your report one wa prepare what yaba. And here fan young conquer report to nimu say MPP are buying Gold for Reserve wa. Yenti Komone said yakwe yenti.
Finally, I want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Where can I find it in your financial statements for 2024?
Madam Chair.
Madam, respectfully, you can't do that.
Record. It's important for us to, especially when.
Governor, can you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your financial statements?
We will provide that to the committee.
No, because I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statement.
Governor,
I have seen.
Hold on. Honorable Abnas Asari to Boise. Governor, what prepare report to the Aba? What the kind of man for what you say MPP are buying ya for? MPP are buying ya corrupt. MPP are buying mismanage economy to the point that ya boka 3.8 billion. And a man for what JD. And they will appear before a year public accounts committee, which is House of Records and not propaganda. Honorable say Abena Osei is asking you a simple question of Governor. What report now wa prepare dia bano? And here fan a loss and wana men konko kan bi. The Honorable Osei can. What's the report to Aba? MPP Boka. It's wa report now what dia bano me pamucho. And here fan ana yenko na men kan bi. And also ose aboche yentie nkomoni ebiu yentie ni. Yentie nkomoni.
Madam Chair.
Adam, respectfully, you can't do that.
On record. It's important for us to, especially when
Governor, can you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your
Madam
financial
Chair,
statements?
we will provide that to the committee.
You will
No,
provide it?
because I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statements.
You provide it?
I have seen the 1.8 billion stated in your financial statement, but I haven't seen the 3.8. So, respectfully, if you can show me exactly where the 3.8 billion Ghana cedis loss has been located.
We will provide that, Madam Chair.
Hey.
We'll come back to the committee.
Governor, as for your banks, this is for 2024. I'm talking about 2024. It's on the website, but I can't find the loss of 3.8 billion Ghana cedis.
If it is, this is 2024. So you
the
wouldn't find
3.8 you said was in, I have seen the 1.8 stated in your financial statement.
Right.
For the gold for oil program.
But that might be for the 2023.
No, it's
right.
for 2024. Your 2024 financial statement is on your website.
Yes.
So I went there and then I checked. I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the. I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the financial statement, but I'm yet to see the 3.8 billion that you mentioned here in the financial statement.
Yes. So, Madam Chair, can we come back?
Madam Chair, me catch them say MPP aban NDC aban no. It is dealing more with propaganda because otemanfo no adwena say manfo ni musa. So let us prosecute the MPP in the court of public opinion. No wonder say Attorney General person obekọ court wo. Na da bia wode nenam ntentenwa nenam ntentenwa. Na ka me hu yi ka Bank of Ghana governor. One case wa prepare a report. We say Kaba. It is a Kaba there. And it is you should be on top of issues. What say there be yama unko na afi na unko hwe ka no aba no ansa no aba beka. Na time no a wo di RTI report to ma obi no na ne be ka no. Ade ane frakadama memwo tantan no mubu ni sa no. Ade ane dishonesty na manfo no nso adwene no medwene ho amenti asese ye bu omo bukata but the people cannot even see it. Ye bu manfo ni bukata wo asad na ye bu omo bukata but the people cannot see it. Ona what dia betu dwa se manfo no mo Friday say yaboka MPP aban yaboka what appear before the Public Accounts Committee. Yebusa a simple question. Governor, can wahini nyina yenkan bi wosi wo ma menko ma mempini machibra. Me ka kire mo se frakadama memo ni ebu a onnyi ntum. Admunya hunu ye problem. Me de me hunu. And at the right time I know some of you also see it. So clearly NDC Abani believe in propaganda and only catch the attention of the Ghanaian people much more. Now say be na ube wunu say nei I said because Gen Z is phone yenti. I'm going to walk you through the nation's political history. Say you're corrupt and NDC na corrupt. We need to walk ourselves through the nation's political history. Medical says Oforiata wa ama meyi na noa. It will be perceived as though Oforiata eye kromfo. And to a far extension, NPP nso a kromfo party. That is how come say President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo said we ye tintin tininti. Said we ye so mo Oforiata and resign. Not even when 70-something members of your parliament a press conference and you wouldn't na man resign, you know. At the time wa pe and man resign, you know. you need to impress on Oforiata. So omra no omra meyina no. Other than that, the notion, the perception which is being created is that MPP are corrupt to the point that Omo finance minister ntimi mma meyina no. Make a sense so from 1992 besine, there has not been a single MPP appointee yet jailing for the act of causing financial loss to the state or yet corruption. So for Oforiata Madia, ye need any bargaining chip, ya bargaining power bia. I bet me say NDC ye corrupt. It is Akufo-Addo with the greatest of respect. Untimi ma wunyane hiding behind the idea of miyare, meyare. Politics perception is equally important as a reality. And the perception being created is that MPP are corrupt. Etikache unyane se womra. Omeyina no. I know say Attorney General when you're not going to fight corruption. Because if indeed Attorney General wants to fight corruption, then he can try Oforiata in absentia. If they said the name Tamakulu, yeah, try no. Na said the name Tamakulu, said the name wa no ni ho. But you try no. Ejeli no. Abayi ba ye onye interested. Abayi also fight corruption. Obaye onye interested. Now the trail of prosecutions. The truth, I woman said National Democratic Congress, ye reign fisa omo ye corrupt party. Because from President Kufuor time, ebesine, ye intimin for one single MPP nibiantum, and ye remember when the NDC is in power, corruption thrives. When they are out of power, accountability catches up with them. If this is the time when MPP should yaba mem ye be we amount for, I am in support. Say any day, any time. Yanchua mungum. Say any day, any time. If say MPP for baby we are at the can Oforiata your friend say Ababa we friend say minua bay. Oh, national service in your friend say give to your worry. Say give to your worry you. So why you? So Omaba Ababe we Mount Fonisika, they should be arrested and be jailed. Any day, any time. Because MPP nye breeding grounds for criminals. Ye koko sere to me free Mount Foneho. Say ye pe to me near Babe so Mount Fono. The bien where catch a Mount Fono say mama ye to me near Mrame Riamo. Mount Fono ma to me say Brabesum Omwa, Oma your honor. They've given you the chance to be a minister. They've given you the chance to be a CEO. They've given you the chance to be a deputy CEO, deputy minister. And sa portfolio no would need before. It is a nyamia wa domina ba betena sa akonya ni mu a. Emu achade a wunya ye nchaw because of wo ofe. Munyina mbedi adanse a mufura ban mu. Christmas hampers ana munya bio. Because those things were not meant for you. It was meant for the office. Emu sika gift ana munya bio. Because those things were not meant for you, it was meant for your office. In that same vein, if the people have honored you, say brabesum now we nyamua dodo DSA, now we are greedy, overly greedy. Now say there be, still now be use the position the people have given you to siphon money, steal money, to rob the people of the little they can also benefit from. Won't me man be hide behind the party MPP? Now found Koreadia, and I'll be in support of that any day, any time. If it's a make Afrifa material, say Minyakonya se me so man for any day, any time. Me we are mitimi there any aban bia what so. Say me baba so man for no se me we man for no jail me. Untimi nyasa na wo hide na akoye na me kokati deal and a plea bargain in 30%. When you come for you must be jailed. But the records also shows that between NPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than NPP. No dear, umpeu. The record shows that between NPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than NPP. And in Yamina Meka, we will take you down memory lane from President Kufuor era Edeba besi eye eneya ye kasei. Every time I yedi to me bema NDC say omumra medi to me biano. Omu be free so no omu wi amamfo ni say tam. Omu wi amamfo to the point that ye jail bi am ya mo presidential amnesty. It yentimi en washe sa ankrofo we. Now all of a sudden they climbed the moral high ground. So during President Kufuor time, after Jeje Som ewie, several top NDC officials who served under the Rawlings administration were prosecuted and jailed for causing financial loss to the state. When you small cases, when you petty infractions, these were massive scandal. It costed Ghana millions of cedis. Now the first among them, Owura Kwame Pepra. Eti Owura Kwame Pepra ene da hei. Owura Kwame Pepra a former Minister of Finance. In 2003, mo nyini ye no ene ye kai mo ye de mo cut down memory lane. In 2003, under President Kufuor, time was ankrofo yi som eye oman ni wiye 20 million Ghana cedi causing financial loss to the state. In 2003, Kwame Pepra was jailed 4 years. So between MPP and NDC, if we are looking at the most corrupt party, it is NDC and not NPP. In 2003, Nyamenameka, the record is there. Quality grain scandal, it was there. We all saw it. Owura Kwame Pepra, former Minister of Finance, Uwie Najuma, Yenyina ye ya aware, say oko jail 4 years. Now, when you Owura Kwame Pepra free wa, to prove that between MPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than MPP. And your Owura Kwame Pepra nkwa ni ko jail. President Kufuor time, your friend Papa way a year Victor Solomi. Gen Z for na mabano. You must learn your history. Victor Solomi echo jail. Were properly convicted court. Convicted in the same quality grain scandal no, or survey time President Kufuor na emso man no pardon o said ye say was wo yare into man the pardon. It between MPP and NDC from 1992 ebesi ne. NDC is more corrupt than NPP. NDC ye mo makonya bia so momra medi o man so a wo mbe sore no ma wi o man say tam. Nobody is going to sit down for them to whitewash themselves and climb the moral high ground. Now, uyi omu free wa. Papa we your friend Dan Agbodakwi. Obaba ye, said the national chairman hopeful also. Meaning so you minkai the memory. Former Minister of Trade. He was sentenced 10 years in jail 2007 for conspiracy, defrauding and causing financial loss to the tune of $400,000 to the state. It yet mean trauma NDC way and whitewashing home. Na ochina omo meka se omo na ye party a omo dwene manfo ne ho ene fine oforiata na am yenya ye enye oforiata na am yenya ye dia between MPP and NDC ope party omo ya mambofo omo ya akronfo ewia manfo ne pa anytime ye be ma omo tumia from 1992 besi ne ye ntimi mfa MPP ni bia nto jail se wo ye kronfo en maka se Kufuor do aban ne ye hwehwem na MPP ni bi ye kronfo omu a ya anti MPP ni say ya kronfo party momfa ne nkoto jail ya no bia me hide we criminal don't come and hide behind a NPP ye na nanom ate no manga so mo te emye de akobokro no ye kwosere manfo ni tumi no nemum the record shows that omo ya kronfo pa wo Ghanaian politics mu a omo the record shows that omo wi amanfo no across financial loss Owura Dan Agbodakwi was convicted by a court of competent court of a jurisdiction. Anya attorney general DAB. Enti Dan Agbodakwi Gen Z for no oko jail. Na yenyi eno emfiri ho. Na yen state on record. Owura Okatakyie Afrifa between MPP and NDC, the most corrupt political party Owia Manfo no. In 2008, former GMPC boss Okatakyie Afrifa or cause financial loss to the state. Emma ye jailino. Humanitarian grounds in the pardon, no. But Meno say Chachuchikata was jailed for causing financial loss to the state. Now Ibrahim Adam, former Minister of Agriculture, was also jailed in connection with a quality grain scandal. So we cannot sit down as a nation and all of a sudden the NDC that we know, very corrupt bunch of people, would whitewash themselves and begin to climb the moral high ground and say, NPP is not a corrupt political party. The records are there to show. NPP is not a corrupt political party. They say, President Kufuor era yede eye Chachuchi Kata etum, yede eye Victor Solomon etum, yede Kwame Pepra etum, yede Dan Agbodakwi etum. These are records. Ubufu, you can argue with your phone. The record shows that they are corrupt, they are thieves, they stole from the people, and these are public records. There is no single MPP person you did not out to jail for corruption. Now, Uyi Enufriwa, in recent times, under President Eye Akufo-Addo, Senokra na ache, Jomama number 1, Efriso, in recent times, under President Akufo-Addo, many of you are aware, say Abu Gapeli, Enyamena Meka, the records are there to show, say Abu Gapeli was jailed. Tienye, Mahama number 1 appointees, they were prosecuted for 772 million Ghana cedi scandal, the NCA scandal. Abu Gapeli could jail on it. So, Mrs. Awope between MPP and the NDC, the most corrupt political party, the records must show, the records must indicate that it is clearly not a MPP and a corrupt. NDC is the most corrupt political party in Ghanaian history. You can argue with your phones. I don't care. Ubufu won't me the records na echere wo. Ma nkofa no baby a me the records ana echere wo. Enti obia me twantro entumfutro nwani. NDC is corrupt. NCA scandal no. 5 individuals. Eugene Bafu Boni, former board chair of NCA, was jailed. Nyamena Meka, makachere Nyamena Meka, the records is there to show. Abu Gapeli. One Eugene Bafu Boni mo. They went to jail. William Tetetiabi, Director General, Emma NCA. Alhaji Salifu Mimina Osman, Deputy National Security Advisor. Nana Osu Ensound, Board Member, George Derek Opong. They were prosecuted in the roles of Omu player. Obia Oye corrupt between MPP and NDC. The record shows that NDC is more corrupt than NPP. In recent times, Opuni Tienye Tie Adeweyi Opuni and Collins Dada Sedu Agongo, they were charged. Prima facie case were found against them. According to prosecutors, over 40 million, 70 million, 98 million plus, and an SC free or more. And NDC, your prosecutor or more do some point, NDC now was about war fighting corruption. Or by was one to scandal, a one to a prosecution. So now, and a Thompson scandal, there were prima facie case against them. But Attorney General said on to us so. And Thompson snit causing financial loss to the state. And no Attorney General said on to us what discontinue case, Ope omo corrupter Sedinam Tamakulu at Yonu were a member of the NDC, and court a jaili no still a NDC so mo nkofa ne ma oforiata so wo ma abeye topic but NDC so mo nkofa ne ma emwo ma me serving a sentence. So the record shows that between MPP and NDC opo mo ya kromfo wi amamfo no a enye NPP enye NDC. Let nobody begin to brand the MPP as corrupt. Erikaka your Okroma say venture capital Daniel Duku, former CEO, and also you need to go court. Attorney General Abaye no, or say on to us. And you better the reasoning behind Attorney General say on to us no. Total loss of 42.8 million. Attorney General say on to us. So between MPP and NDC, and Mofra, Gen Zs, you pay the most corrupt we are mine power and NPP and NDC. Even in recent times, double salary scandal. President Akufo-Addo period. 30 NDC MPs collected double salary. Tienye, na Akufo-Addo na ankasa so ye blame you. And you may be your friends and family. Ministers of state are no more members of parliament. Under John Dramani Mahama #1 for 4 consecutive terms. The MPP government took the matter. And what happened? Of course, President Akufo-Addo achew. President Akufo-Addo yesrew. Se no omusu nim so omo ba be wienti no ma nya omo hwi no se de you. Enye sadia. The record shows that double salary scandal no. Ye were members of parliament a wo je double salary. For 4 years and they almost omo na year proponent of a year probity, accountability and social justice. Probity, accountability and social justice, but they were stealing from the people. They were taking double salary. And today, the same people want to lecture Ghanaians on governance. The same people want to lecture us on who is corrupt. NDC corruption is not mere allegations, and propaganda, and documentary. This is pure and documented history of our nation. Between MPP and NDC. Opa omo cause financial loss. Omo defrauded the state. Omo procurement breaches. Diversion of public funds, and repeated prosecutions. There is no one single MPP a year appointee at Wako jail since 1992. Based there, it will be to me make us MPP a corrupt party. MPP a corrupt party. MPP will be a medical car. So being so under Akufo-Addo abayi, will be there. We are man for no. Attorney General should stop this behavior of plea bargain and makoje 30%. Now makoje na meji 60, na meji 30. We are so we get 30% ni ade. Ana do make market for man say. Me musa Attorney General say. Say 30% na aka no one na ekoche. Enye na make. Attorney General say prosecutions ni bo ho bejimu 70. Beji 1% plea bargain. But all you know na makola man so Attorney General the way there eya koyesa say see the 30% 70% ne ba. Ene na akowiese bekwa kowiese. Enyam na meka. The market for man na eka. So Attorney General wo pe no ma 30% nam so Attorney General do want sa. No so ka de che kura so ye ka asema wonyi ntum want sa say. To my sign Attorney General T. But the record shows that so will be a real man for no munjelino. We are not a bunch of criminals forming a political party. Our political party was not formed to come and steal from anyone. It is a Hasman was a Asamu Buffer Stockman, so a real man for no and your propaganda in the media. Monfa nenko court. Na munko prove beyond reasonable doubt. Where we are man for na mama court ninjeli no. MPP ni na asa won menya adwene on this position e ye wo wasem enya masem me say obi a ye man ni tumi so won so manfo no a wa wi a manfo ni bia monjeli no. Asa de be ye no hu no say Attorney General ne nkrofo omonye wo madwene. So wombe jeli ubiano. We are going to move to our next topic of a year Attorney General Nkomobia. Omudi ye. La ila la 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 la. Sa mobe kai se omoba ye na no omudi ora 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 mewa. Winim ora no hwinim. But before see ebeko ora no so ye intercepted document be from a year Bank of Ghana. So document way shows that Bank of Ghana is trying to recapitalize or more formal can say recapitalize a year the Deben market. But Attorney General Domlevo ora 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 ora. And this propaganda ayo mo de chen so mbe ye adwuma. Yehwe ora Domlevo ebisa question bi. Domlevo yanko.
Major concern about the ORA is that it is not going to be successful if we keep or maintain the same legal framework and institutional arrangements for fighting corruption. And my major concern about the ORA is that it is not going to be successful if we keep or maintain the same legal framework and institutional arrangements for fighting corruption and corruption-related issues. What am I talking about? As we speak today, or as you and me, we are having this discussion, to establish guilt against someone for financial crimes, the person, it must be proven by prosecution beyond reasonable doubt. And financial crimes or corruption and corruption-related issues are not issues that are very easy to establish beyond reasonable doubt, because the perpetrators of this type of crime are very intelligent and sophisticated persons. And after receiving the proceeds of crime, they are also able to manipulate evidence, even including influencing the investigators and the prosecution, and at times even the judges. So it is not going to be easy. So I think the low-hanging fruit, which are not being plugged, is what my major concerns, my concerns are about. One, if we had changed the legal framework, said that for corruption and corruption-related cases of financial crimes, one does not need to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Once it can be established that Daniel is in possession of resources or assets that do not match his known sources of income, then the onus should shift to Daniel to prove to us how he or she got it, if it's a lady. So if we do that, a reverse burden or lifestyle audit or unexplained wealth, I am sure that alone can deter people who intend even stealing. And of course, those who have stolen, we can easily get them to refund the money to us and maybe punish them.
So we aye ora Demlevo. On some penny forecast and say wontimi nneoma wo se wo kashiri ana enye. The basic principle of law when it comes to proving for criminal cases, proving beyond all reasonable doubt. And the reason, the basic principle of law, which seeks to protect innocent people, is that it will be better, so we save hundreds of criminals, na than see one innocent person akoda jail. It's a one innocent person ko jailer. That means we've not done justice to that person. So improving criminal matters, unlike improving civil matters, which is probabilities, balance of probabilities. Here you need to prove beyond all reasonable doubt. Domlevo ya aware said that is the basic principle of criminal cases. Nebomuno omuntimi omuniomenti. Ura Domlevo as a young shifty the onus, the burden of proof no. You're shifting free the prosecutor. Near found court the accused. Said ye accusee when we find unfounded allegations, you drag the person to court, you have no fact, you have no evidence against the person. and the person now must come and explain unexplained wealth to the state. There is a reason here okwa could prove even criminal case here. Court no ma wudi kan establish a prima facie case. Because we don't want you to waste the court's time. There is too much cases as a court in the deal. Now, if we go the way now, Domlevo Kana, what then will happen is that Attorney General Biamus Okatakyie Matoka, the car no effect, medai effect, this, that. Adechi no drag me to court. Or drag me to court, only evidence, only fact. Then we have a court and say, baby, I'm doing to improve my case. It's mama the accused numum improving why you only dying only car. This is a separate matter. That is why Iyoko is there. If you want people to explain wealth, acquisition of wealth, you can file a complaint to Iyoko. Organize economic and organize But when you go to court on the basis that somebody is corrupt, then you cannot shift the simple basic principle of law that he who accuses must prove. This is simple. This is simple. He who accuses must prove. Also, there be shifting the balance. Now, the entire moment to prove your case, you know. Attorney General.
Brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning. Because my senior brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Okay, so when you're in America, if a year already Demlevo say yes, sir, the burden of proof. The only reason Domlevo is calling that the burden of proof should shift to the accused instead of the prosecution, and it say Domlevo more report the come Attorney General no. Some kwase report. Him ake and drone konkonsa and the wumo. And enyame make Attorney General no mu asem clean. Yentini view.
Brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Their report were bare-bone allegations, and I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court. So it is not about shifting the burden of proof. Ora Demlevo nim say enyoma na omo gigi ye ora omo printing ye papers akese omo say ye papers oni okuje 23 say mirror of justice omo wasting your time ene ayi sa akoya why ne ho ayi moral judge ayi Martin Kpegbu lawyer Martin Kpegbu omo wasting your time no enkonkonsan kwa no mkotie hwi nim ensuo nim bare bone allegations. This is the Attorney General speaking, not me. No Okatakyie Afrifa mensa, you may not like me, but clearly I am not the one speaking. Attorney General said, "Ye Domlevo mo de ba no, eye sankwas nsimhunu manfo na beye what is say? Hwinim paper ten no mo print no mo submit jomama no mo deceive jomama. Enyama na meka. Yenti Attorney General biu.
Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Ora no insuanim. Okuya tro say ye benya 21 billion ama Ghana. Attorney General say insuani ora nim. Just afi no kohwe na odi insuo. But the Attorney General yemusa question. If these are bare-bone allegations, why the press conferences? Because the public who deceive you. You, the Attorney General, under Article 88.3, is solely responsible for initiating a conduct and conducting of prosecutions But an attorney general TNA, every citizen in Ghana, every so betimi aye bibi. Oba no aba be press conference. No jailing microphone. What me ka say? A former national security coordinator or a part of the scandal. No one make a pronouncement to the effect that they are thieves. This is thievery. But Attorney General, you know that these are legal conclusory remarks. When a lawyer who is an Attorney General prosecuting a case begins to make pronouncement as though he is the court, before a pronouncement can be made to the effect that somebody is a thief or otherwise, it is only a court of competent jurisdiction that has the jurisdiction and the authority to make such conclusory remarks and pronouncements. Now, when we have an Attorney General who has the duty to prove the case in court, that's how Attorney General will make a conclusory statement like this is thievery, they are thieves, it is worrying. So if over 200 cases of alleged looting exist, the Attorney General is required to be investigated. But on our share, also should be any. Now, young sorry for the Attorney General view.
21 billion. About how much do you realistically estimate that you can achieve for the country?
Okay, so let's start with the oral report. The oral report was in segments, and 2,000 and plus cases that you are talking about came out of the various segments. So, for instance, if you take the land, right? You take the land looting cases; they are one component, okay, of the oral cases. Not all of them. I can say this with certainty. Not all of them will end up, going to court, right? There will be some of them. There are some of them. We are. Realizing that the evidence, okay, because the oral report was a collection of allegations, a collection of complaints, and that is why I find it a bit disconcerting. When people like my brother, my senior brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that.
Attorney General, yes, Attorney General on another thing. Attorney General making remarks, which is very worrying.
We are doing offshore investigations. So I have foreign asset recovery companies, okay, or personnel that are helping me, experts that are helping me to trace assets abroad.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are doing that.
And you do them simultaneously.
We are doing them simultaneously. Assess a matter, okay, and have serial responsibility, right, for your sector.
That's right.
Right. But when it comes to technical matters such as a construction project, you have technical people working on and advising the minister. So I don't know by what means a minister is going to be able to say that this IPC ought not to be paid because it is false.
Okay, so Attorney General, I make a comment, and this was in reference to the Siglimi issue. Now, the pronouncement near very worrying. Samseladi Anyani is asking him why or discontinue some of the cases or drop charges against the likes of my very good friend Collins Dada in the Siglimi issue. Now, Attorney General is talking about a year or dropping cases because a minister must be charged when some of the things, infractions in here based on technical advice in here. I'll come and address that. But yes, Attorney General briefly on this.
Opinion that this ought not to have gone to trial in the first place. There is no point wasting the state's resources in conducting a trial when I know that down the line, all right, the state is going to lose. That will be reckless. That will be professionally, and in fact, it will be unethical on my part to assess a matter, come to the determination that there is reasonable doubt, the evidence doesn't stand up, and then I say, okay, you know what, just so that I satisfy the public, let this continue. No Attorney General should be conducting himself or herself in that way.
Now, no Attorney General should conduct himself. Yenti Wenso.
Great. Individuals who are associated with the NDC, do you regret your early decisions involving, nolly prosequi filings and the famous 60% bargains?
No, I don't. And Samson, you've known me for many years. If I don't believe in something, I wouldn't do it. And when I came into office, I did an objective professional assessment of all the pending cases. And remember, I keep reminding people that I was involved on the other side as defense attorney.
Muntie Adia Attorney General, Yebeko reading the Constitution. Muntie Adia Attorney General. Attorney General said he was involved in the other side as a defense prosecution. Okay, so now Attorney General, Yenti Adia Obabeka. Yenti.
Assessment of all the pending cases. And remember, I keep reminding people that I was involved on the other side as defense attorney, right? If I didn't believe in the innocence of my clients, I would not, in some cases, I would not have, participated in, their, as part of their defense team, okay? So I had an insider view of most of the things that happened. So for instance, you take, Sagleme, okay? Sagleme, by all standards, was poorly investigated, all right? And the charges were poorly thought through. I'm saying this with all due respect to the people who drafted the charges, to the, state attorneys who were involved. I believe in their professionalism and I respect, their knowledge of criminal law a lot, all right? In fact, some of them are better than I am when it comes to criminal law. But I did an objective assessment. And so I give the Sagleme case as an example. Now, if you look at the case, they were talking about $200 million, all right, of funds, that were misused or lost to the state as a result of the actions of the persons who were charged, including my then client, Collins Dowda, all right? Well, we did an assessment of it. Collins Dowda was charged with causing financial loss to the tune of $200 million. But Collins Dowda was in the ministry for a very short period. At the time that he was leaving, only $94 million had been expended.
Attorney General said, oh no, because now or insider knowledge, and then the boy money concludes so charges in a week. But the Constitution says something very different and it's very clear. Yanko read Article 284. Now, yen read Article 284. Now, already Article 284. Article 284 says that a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of his office. Tienye, Article 284. I say, where a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict. So Attorney General no a lawyer ma Collins Dowda, and then because now lawyer ma Collins Dowda now or insider report and obey Attorney General and we use ni 2 years Attorney General and the track case in him onto us. Meanwhile, say a week here, it should have been the court which will say that evidence ayediabano and yet enough. Attorney General using the discretionary powers within the Constitution, under the Constitution. But even in the usage of the discretionary powers, Article 296B, it talks about the use of discretionary powers. So when you are using discretionary powers, it must not be arbitrary, it must not be capricious, it must not be biased. So using privileged information, we gain it as a defense lawyer to later drop charges as Attorney General, it creates a perception of bias. So Attorney General now a defense attorney, Emma a Collins Dowda, na ene wababa Attorney General, also wa drop a charges against Collins Dowda. Also ni say, Attorney General or fair, but he has forgotten. Says Attorney General, no or dropping cases in although a discretion, so about dropping cases, but it violates the spirit of fairness. It undermines the public confidence. And it places the Attorney General in a position, a constitution, forbidden clearly. Was this the Attorney General or a public officer? Now, be you show discretionary powers. It must not be arbitrary. It must not be capricious. Again, you should not put yourself in a place. Now, even if the intentions were pure, and a do Attorney General, because of Justice Rimsai, the former constitutional law lecturer who is also a friend, a very good friend, but I must say this in the interest of governance. Even if the intentions were pure, now clearly it appears as conflict of interest. If so, you're Attorney General, now be catcher you say, "Oh, now you defense attorney for a client, and now be Attorney General into a case anymore." Again, Minister no, Attorney General make a point to the fact that why is the minister being held liable for technical construction errors, and that they relied on expert and cannot be expected say be detected a false interim payment certificate. Now, I don't agree with the Attorney General. The Constitution disagrees with you because the preamble of the Constitution demands probity and accountability. Attorney General, you are aware. The frame will be a vicarious liability, ultimate responsibility. Now, this is a case where Attorney General under Ayi, Yankongo read Article 67, Article 76. Article 76. Article 76 say, the cabinet shall assist the president in determination of general policy of government. The cabinet, it's Attorney General, who you are part of cabinet. Although you are a minister may not be a technical engineer, but they are custodians of public funds. If it's a minister, no, and a sign. So they are responsible. So mobile oversight responsibility. Ama every adebia edebromo a Jessica free the public in hall. It is an Attorney General say there were technical errors and infractions, and for that matter, the minister na yedi a public funds and no man or no any oversight responsibility. We cannot hold them into accountable. What kind of logic is this, Attorney General? So, Okatakyie say, Collins Dada, no a minister, and on the advice of technical people, it will release this, and for that matter, he cannot be held a year liable. Ignorance is not a defense. The fact that he did not know said there was error cannot be a defense for him. Ignorance can clearly not be a defense. So, Attorney General, like I said, it was Attorney General, please, respectfully, your position is a bit worrying. You are becoming more of a media general than Attorney General. Respectfully said, you are becoming more of a media general than Attorney General. Again, Attorney General says it is reckless, unethical, and waste of state resources to pursue a case he believes the state may lose. But justice to me is not a gamble. Attorney General, what the man for court on TNA? It is not just about CIG Sika. That is why I have a problem with a yewo opposition. I want to say, and grofo we are man for the Sika or mobile plea bargain. No more than 70%, 60% bar obeje. It is worrying because one of the fundamental principle of punishment is a deterrence. Justice is a duty, and one of the fundamental principle of punishment say you do be a court, you punish nipa no, and yen nipa no be sofa ne nkoanti ani hia. They mom say be serve as a deterrence. Nema afoforo kon no so mo be wie sika. Now with the current posture of the Attorney General, when man for wie sika also will negotiate with them for plea bargain and if I hear it wura you can say dufo aba wabetua sika ni bi etimi so wonko. Any and sadia minya kwana me ba public officer, all I have to do is that SM wie sika ni bebre Na me wia bebre na oba na ache me a, me se plea bargaining, me tua 70% na mageko. So it is not just about a year or punishing nipa na year sika, but the public interest demands a trial, not merely for conviction, but also to establish a record, to expose the wrongdoing, to protect the public purse. That is what we are talking about. If it's a constitution about probity, accountability, social justice, and the account, the only way you can deter people and uphold the sovereign will of the people, which is about exposing a wrongdoing, which is about protecting the public purse, it is about prosecuting the people just so the others will not have an incentive to get into such matters. So although dropping cases may save money, as you are saying, it may help the exchequer, but it does not help justice. It does not help accountability. It does not help Ghana, Attorney General. So please, this analogy is very bad. Your stance is very bad. It's a weak stance. If indeed you want to, medical case say MPP ni bia wi amanfo no a monjeli nipa no. And MPP ni bia no e ba be supporting kwase asem. Se menya akwanya se meso manfo na me wie no me wi amanfo na monjeli me. I must be able to be responsible for my own actions. So the Constitution of Ghana is not just a suggestion. It is not optional. You cannot come and sit here and say that you must prosecute the people. Because the Constitution is the supreme law of Ghana. And when the Attorney General's actions or inactions appear to contradict the Constitution, yen prosecuting Crawford to serve as a deterrent. For me, Ghana deserves better. Ghana deserves a transparent government. Ghana deserves accountability. The Attorney General position way is very wrong. You need to move away from it. You cannot treat this business as usual. Say Attorney General say. Attorney General say. That's the same side. Please tell your boss. I know that I know a call hacker crowd fetch. And I know a call hacker crowd fetch in Nigeria. But in the interest of governance, some of these conversations must be had. With the greatest of respect to the Attorney General, with the greatest of respect to you, Justice Rimsai, I don't seek to undermine the authority of the Attorney General, but I believe that it is worrying. The position that your boss and your institution, your edifice is taking is a bit worrying. It needs to be checked. But the American say it needs to be checked. And the Attorney General, whether we like it or yes, clearly, you need to prosecute these cases. You need to prosecute them. You're moving away from a year Attorney General and Seminona. Let's go and check Bank of Ghana leakage via leaked report from Bank of Ghana. We suggest that Bank of Ghana recapitalization of banks. Recapitalization of banks. Our recapitalization of banks, you will start the relevant questions. Recapitalization of microfinance institutions. Recapitalization. The questions that needs to be asked, we are going to ask the very important questions. Bank of Ghana, you be paying. Mo yes, I deal with. Emma, a banks in be weak. Now banks in be weak, And I could afford to na buy the better ye be krusi. Obekaya, and be no coma, yes, a man's tabe near this car. Capital Bank near the coffee fast, and this year your mama and the mom. Now, leaked report shows that Bank of Ghana saw a recapitalization of banks. Microfinance institutions. No, because almost say Akufo-Addo pen so NDC for. So we are asking the questions. The issue of Ponzi schemes, Yakai Men's Good. Yakai a year back home friends say, okay, so this is the report. Elikia yeye nwajuma. Now, oh, sorry, Bank of Ghana reporter Elikia yeye nwajuma. I've sent my people to do a lot of work. They are going to, but we are asking the questions. Men's Good DNA been eba now for the microfinance institutions. Yeah, we start the relevant questions. DKM DNA been eba now. You will start the relevant questions. Now, Bank of Ghana see new reforms eba. And it's just a takeover because almost you microfinance no more hono. Almost MPP for anti recapitalization. Therefore, he no see here. What is the real objectives? You need DHR. Now, is there a way to acquire control over private institutions and ADBA? Ninyina ye need a DHR. NDC and they demonizing the banking sector. NDC call it reckless. They call it political. It was my banner so more recapitalization. As you win ye need DHR. One baby no more percent. Say movie the baseline capital of a year microfinance. Normally a kosoro. We are going to have the conversation into detail in the coming days. The Bank of Ghana won't mean van comma. You do not need to proceed. Says reforms and be good by microfinancer. Where a leaked report from Bank of Ghana. If a big good microfinancer, you cannot proceed. And as a money be cheskedia, ye di any DHR. We will be in Surubia. Money be cheskedia, ye di any DHR. The kind of the records are there. Let's recap what we did tonight. Tonight we were able to prove that although NDC say omocha John Mama buying also omocha a year COVID-19 level mu. Na so me no ka say omugusua edge COVID-19 level no. Enti Killnet aban. Me no ka say gold board ebe ka kire so Bank of Ghana so Ghana boka abno say asare as subjected the governor of Bank of Ghana. When Timian prove it, see a boka, a Akufo-Addo pencil good for reserve. It's a Killnet abai. We were able to prove to you tonight, say between NPP and NDC, the most corrupt political party, NPP, it is NDC. Again, we were able to prove to you tonight that Attorney General Anya and Agwene so obe fight corruption. Media prosecution yen the chance so obe call into the docket, or be court into a court. No ako face court, no the evidence ako. Media prosecutions and the chance are. Aha, for the records. Meeting Okatakyie Afrifa Mensa. We keep on bringing you the wo wadwene enko so. Ye bie wani ekọ baby a wo wani enko ye. Se be ya Killnet aban ntimi ntum futuro enwu wani. I came just to serve you and baby abedi besini. Thank you. Bye bye.
Sababu ni waya mambia kunyaya fuanemi na samemu bajeti saya kachanga say